I think as we get hurt, I think as we evolve, I think as we grow, we forget some of the things that make us a beautiful person. Not saying that you're not a beautiful person, just saying we forget how to be a beautiful person because we're told that we're not most of the time. We're told all of our flaws, who we are, where we're going, what to do, how to do it. And the number one rule for me that I feel like I forgot was to treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't expect anything out of what you're doing. You know, I think we forget because we go through so much anguish, we go through so much triumph that we feel, what's the point of treating people the way we want to be treated when nobody's doing it for us? That's not like the main factor in it all. Like, yes, that is like respect yourself, respect your boundaries, respect who you are, but there's more to it. And I feel like when you don't treat people the way you want to be treated, you start to lose something within yourself that slowly you don't see at first, but it starts to show. It starts to dampen your soul. It starts to make you feel a certain way that you're not conditioned to feel. Like, God told us that we're conditioned to feel love, but yet we spread hate. And the reason why we do that is because we're ashamed of how many people put that onto us. So subconsciously we think that that's something that we should do to fulfill something within ourselves. And I'm telling you, that's the wrong way to go about it. That's the wrong way to think. It's hard not to think that way, but controlling your mind is something that needs to be done. Self-control. People talk about self-control with not fighting people and stuff like that. That's not really what self-control is. Self-control is when you're in a bad moment, how are you going to handle the bad moment? How are you going to step out of the bad moment? How are you going to show up for yourself and others? Taking self-control to not say what's the first thought on your mind by really processing how you feel, to say the right thing, to do the right thing, to feel the right thing, to be the right thing. And I think that a lot of people forget that. Treat people the way you want to be treated is not just a saying, it's a ethic, it's a lifestyle that we forget over time because most of the time people are not treated fairly. So why would you want to treat other people fairly? To keep yourself intact. You know what I mean? People say forgiveness is key. Why is forgiveness key? To keep yourself intact, to realize that I've made mistakes, we've all made mistakes, we're all to blame, but yet it's okay and let go so I can be the best version of myself. You know what I mean? You always forget to be the best version of yourself because people want you to be the worst version of yourself so they can look like they're superior to you. And that's not really what it is about either. It's more about how you're treating yourself. And I went through a hard time in my relationships because I wasn't treating people fairly. Not saying I was doing like crazy things, but I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't choosing myself. I wasn't being myself. Not saying I'm my authentic self, but I wasn't being the best form of myself. I wasn't being my truest form of myself. And yes, I'm still growing, but that's no excuse to treat somebody poorly just because you're growing. You feel me? Like, you have to take accountability and realize that the things you do have consequences. They have actions, and the actions that you do will define how everything goes about in your life. If you treat people good things will happen. Not saying that's just how it works, but you'll feel the good coming to you. You'll feel like you deserve it. But when you do something out of character or you treat somebody poorly, you feel like now you deserve to be treated poorly for your actions that you took in place. And I'm telling you, treat yourself fairly. Treat yourself with respect. But also remember, just because you're choosing you, just because sometimes you have to reflect on other people's emotions. Don't just take other people's emotions as a grain of salt, bro. It's real. It's passionate. It's valid. We look at ourselves and we just think, oh, our emotions are valid and that's it, and that's just who I am and that's what I expect, right? But in reality, everybody's emotions are valid. And if you just take your emotions into consideration and nobody else's, are you really truly understanding the emotional value that you even hold? Because we're all connected, we're all one. So treat people the way you want to be treated. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to pour into yourself. Learn that it's okay to make mistakes, but let it go. You know, we always have this notion to hold on to the past, because if we hold on to the past, maybe I could change the future if I just understand it. We don't have any control. The control is gone. We've never had control. And I think that's something that people hold on so tightly. They want to control everything in their life to the point where they lose it all. And that's something that I was doing. I was holding on so tightly that I was losing it all, because I was losing myself, trying to hold on to a notion that wasn't even my belief. You know who you are at a young age. We forget who we are as we grow old. And when we forget who we are, we start to not know what we like, who we like, what we want, how we want it. But the one thing that we should do and hold into our hearts dearly is treating people the way we want to be treated, treating yourself the way you want to be treated, loving yourself instead of hating yourself. Because if you love yourself instead of hating yourself, you'll stop hating the world. You'll start loving the world. You'll start being one with the world. You can't be one if you hate, because God said there's no love in hate. So you're never going to find love in that hate that you're giving. You're never going to find the true fulfillment of the things that you're trying to exclude, because they're all negative. Self-control is going through hard times and still loving the result, still loving who you are, still loving the people around you, even if it's just because they cooked you a meal, or even if it's just because they said something nice to you. Love that, cherish that. Stop cherishizing, and stop materializing money and gifts and all these things as love. That's not really love. That's a addition to love. But that's not all love is. It's appreciation, it's reflection, it's embracing, it's appreciate, you know what I mean? It's absorption. If you can't absorb the love, then are you really loving? If you can't feel the love, are you really trusting? You see what I'm saying? You got to think about these things, because they really add up. They really change your character. They really put a hold on you. So treat people the way you want to be treated. I'm out. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to make more videos. I took a little social media break. But yeah, you got this, bro. Like, come on.